standing, folks. Please be seated. All right, we're all back on the record. Members of our jury council, Mr. Jones, are present. Mr. McGowan, your next witness.
Defense calls Amanda Conred.
You solemnly swear or affirm under penalty of perjury the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, or do you so affirm?
Oh, thank you. Okay. Okay.
Good afternoon, Amanda.
Hi.
Can you spell your last name for the record, please?
Conrad.
Okay. And have you ever testified before?
No.
Okay, so I know it's probably kind of nerve-wracking experience. Try to make it as quick as possible for you, okay?
Okay.
You have some water there if you need it.
Okay.
Are there tissues up there if you need it?
Yeah.
Okay. You were a NAU student in the fall of 2015?
Yes.
Are you still a student?
Yes.
Okay. Where were you living in the fall of 2015?
In Mountain View Hall.
Okay. Were you in a sorority?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you know why we're here, right?
Yeah.
Do you know any of the people that were involved in the incident on October 8th going into October 9th?
Yes.
Okay. Now, when I say do you know them, did you know them before all of this happened?
Yes.
Okay, so who did you know?
Colin, Nick, and Nick, and Kyle Zintek, and just the majority of those boys.
Okay. You mentioned 3 Nicks.
Yeah.
I know there's more than 3, so which 3 do you know?
Peering, Prado, sorry, I don't know if that's right, and then Plecky, and I know Nick Acevedo too.
So you know 4 Nicks. Okay.
Sorry, I forgot that one.
And you knew all those guys before this
Yeah.
this evening?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, on that evening, or before I get to that, did you review any transcripts in preparation for today?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and give you those transcripts now in case you need them
Okay.
as we go forward. If I may approach with exhibits 486 and 487.
Yes.
Just take a brief moment to look those over. Are those the transcripts that you reviewed?
Yeah.
Okay. You can set them aside for now. Now, we're only interested in what you can remember from that night, not what you've learned later. Okay. I want to start at sort of the evening of the 8th, Thursday night. Do you remember what you were doing that evening?
Yeah.
What were you doing?
I was hanging out with friends at the Grove apartments, and just for like a little bit, and then we came back to go home.
We've heard about the Grove a bit. It was up the street on Franklin there?
Yeah.
Now, that's a big apartment complex, right? Mm-hmm. Is that a yes?
Yeah.
You weren't hanging out at the same place that Stephen Jones and his friends were hanging out, right?
No.
Okay. So you're hanging out at the Grove. Was there any drinking going on?
A little bit.
Okay. Did you have anything to drink?
I had one drink.
One drink?
Yeah.
What was it?
Beer.
A beer?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you recall what time you left the Grove that night?
I can't say exactly, but it was around, I think, 1 in the morning. I don't know. I'm not for sure.
When you left the Grove, did you leave by yourself?
No.
Who else was with you?
Two of the guys that like lived there who weren't drinking that night drove us home. Me and my two other friends.
Okay. Do you remember the guys' names that were driving?
No, I don't. I wasn't familiar with them.
You remember the friends you were with?
Yeah.
Who were they?
Kayla DeFreitas and Jamie Donaldson.
So these guys are driving you home, and home at that point was Mountain View?
Yeah.
Okay. Did he just drive down Franklin?
Yeah.
Okay. Did he pull into the parking lot there on Mountain View in Franklin?
Okay.
Yes, sorry.
Yeah. Mr. Conrad, we just have to have yes or
Yes.
no, so my court reporter can take it down.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to show you what's been admitted as Exhibit 316. Give us sort of an overview of that area so we make sure we understand exactly where you pulled in.
Okay.
Okay? Okay, so do you recognize what we're looking at here?
Yeah.
Is that Franklin?
Yeah.
Is that the road that you guys drove down to get
Yes.
to Mountain View? Okay. If we could pan to the right a little bit, please. Thank you. And that's Mountain View?
Yes.
Okay. Is that the driveway that you pulled
Wait a
into?
Yeah, sorry, I don't have my glasses on, so it's kind of
Oh,
hard to see.
do you have your glasses with you?
No. Yeah, that's exactly where.
Okay, so you pulled right into there.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you don't remember exactly what time it was that this happened, right?
No.
You were in the back seat?
Yes.
Do you remember as you're pulling into that driveway, do you remember what you were observed at that point?
Yeah.
Okay, so what did you see?
Well, the car was like on the, I don't know, they pulled in, and I just like got out and heard yelling. Figured it was just a party, not a big deal.
So you could hear yelling, but you weren't concerned about it?
No.
Okay. Then what happened?
I heard more yelling, and I like looked over to the left side, and I saw someone laying in the rocks. And then I like didn't know who it was. More yelling, and then someone started yelling like call 911, call 911. So they ran over to our car, and my friend Kayla was just sitting in there because we just like didn't want to be involved. And then but like the 911 was busy when she tried to call, and a bunch of people had already called. And I looked over, I saw someone in a sweatshirt with a hood on, and I grabbed my friend Kayla out of the car because I like felt something was wrong, and he shot the gun in the air 4 times.
Okay.
And
so
we ran.
We'll can go back and break that down a little bit. Okay. And actually, if we can go to the view, I don't know what station. Yeah,
Yeah, that's better.
and face the Mountain View area. So is this where the car stopped?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you recall which side of was the car facing the way we're facing now, looking at this?
I believe so.
Okay. And, well, it didn't back into the spot.
No.
Yeah. So, do you recall which side of the vehicle you got out of?
No.
Okay. So you don't know if you were, got out of the car and you were on this parking lot side, or if you were on the side over by the boulders?
I was closer to the boulders.
Closer to the boulders?
Yeah.
Okay. So you got out on the left side of the car.
Yeah.
And did you ever walk forward in front of the car?
No.
Was your view blocked by anything of what was going on
No.
down there?
No.
It was a lot darker than this, though.
Yeah.
You couldn't make out faces.
I couldn't tell who was around me.
You heard yelling, you're screaming,
Yeah.
but you couldn't make out what anyone actually said?
No. Everything that night went by very fast, so.
And then you saw somebody that you thought had a hood on,
Yes.
and they were shooting in the air?
Yes.
Okay, and you were certain that it was a gun they were shooting?
Yeah, I saw the red light on the gun go up and then shoot.
And you were certain that they were pointing it in the air?
Yes.
Okay. What did you do after that?
I grabbed my best friend Kayla out of the car and I said, we need to go. And we ran past this door. I don't know, I had some intuition that I needed to go farther. So I went in where our tri-adult wing is.
Do you have a pointer up there?
Yeah.
Okay. So you referenced a door. Can you point to the door you ran past?
This one? Sorry, I'm like trying to be steady, but
That's fine.
that one.
So you didn't go in that?
No.
You went further?
Yeah, there's like a path that goes to that back building that I, for some reason, thought was safer to go to, which I'm guessing it was.
So you went in that door, and once you went in the door, did you see anything else that happened out?
No, I didn't look. I didn't want to look back.
Okay. Did you hear anything else that happened?
Yelling, and then when I got into my building, just sirens immediately.
Back to when you looked over and saw that individual shooting in the air, did you see, before any shots, did you see anyone around him?
There was like it was a cluster of people kind of like all scattered around, but I didn't know who it was. Again, everything happened really fast that night.
Right, so you couldn't specifically tell what was going on over there?
I mean, I realized after it was like an altercation, and I don't know who would voluntarily walk up to that.
But you're certain that the person was pointing in the air when they were shooting?
Yes.
No further questions, John.
Hi, Amanda.
Hi.
So you had an interview with us not too long ago, in January, I think, this year?
I think
Does that
so.
sound right? And at that time, you were describing this incident, and you said nobody was around the person shooting. Can you describe that?
I didn't see, like, it was going very fast.
Sure.
But I know that there was yelling in a group of people.
All right. And specifically as to the person shooting, who was around, or what could you see around him?
Well, my friend Colin laying in the rocks.
Okay. How far away was that?
I don't remember exactly, but it was close.
And other people, were other people standing around?
Yeah. But again, I ran, so I didn't get to sit back and see who stayed.
Right. How close were these other people to the person you saw shooting?
I don't remember.
Okay. Was this person who was shooting, was he standing?
Yes.
Was there anybody attacking him that you could see?
No.
What color, you said that he was wearing a hooded sweatshirt, what color was that?
I believe I said white, but again, everything that night was not something I like to remember, so
Sure.
I might have the color off.
Okay, that's fine. And we just want your best memory today. You said Colin was a friend of yours?
Yes.
From your knowledge of Colin, was he a peaceful person?
Very.
Objection, relevant.
404A2, Judge.
Approach. The objection is sustained as to foundation.
Amanda, how did you know Colin?
I met Colin my freshman year. I was just I started hanging out with my roommate at the time, who was a year older than me, and she introduced me to all of my friends. And I just met like the best group of people, and he was in that group.
Okay, and how often would you hang out with him?
Every weekend.
For how long?
I don't, like a year, I don't know.
Okay, no, that's fair. You feel like you have a personal knowledge of his character?
Yes,
Was he a peaceful person?
very.
May I have a moment, Judge?
Yes.
That's all I have. Thank you, man.
Redirect.
So you knew Colin when exactly?
My freshman year.
Okay. So in the fall of 2015, what year was that?
What year was that?
For you, yeah.
Oh, I was a freshman.
That was your freshman year. So
Or 2015? No, I was a sophomore.
you were a sophomore.
Yeah.
So you knew him during the previous school year.
Yeah.
Would it change your opinion about his peacefulness if you knew that his BAC was a .285,
No.
that he had Xanax in his system?
No.
Would it change your opinion of his peacefulness if you knew that he had a gun in his room?
Objection, relevance, and foundation.
Hold on, please. Sustained.
So you don't have to answer that. But you were a friend of his, right?
Yes.
Did you ever see him getting in any fights?
Never.
Okay. But you don't know if he did get into fights, do you?
I'm pretty confident he didn't.
You don't think he ever got in
No.
a fight?
No.
Okay. No further questions.
All right, I'll turn to members of our jury and see if they have any questions for this witness. It appears we do. I'll see counsel and court reporter at sidebar. Were in, was it a sedan or an SUV?
It was a sedan.
Follow up, Mr. McGowan?
No question.
Mr. Barker?
No, thank you.
Can this witness be excused?
Yes.
Mr. Conrad, thank you for your testimony. You are excused.
Thank you.
Mr. McGowan, your next witness, please.
That's calls Michael Muller. Michael Muller.
You solemnly swear or affirm under penalty of perjury the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, or do you so affirm?
Good afternoon, Michael.
Afternoon.
Can you spell your last name for the record, please?
Mullen.
Michael, are you a NAU student?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you were a student back in the fall of 2015?
Yes,
Are you also a Delta Chi member?
I am.
Okay. Were you roommates with Colin Brew and Nick Peering
Yes, sir.
in the fall of 2015?
Yes.
Did you give various interviews during the course of this case?
Yes.
Okay. Did you have a chance to review any of that for today's
I
testimony?
did. Yes, a little bit.
Would it help you maybe have those with you in case you need to refer to them?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
If I may approach with exhibits 483 and 485, Your Honor. Just take a moment to look those over. Are those the transcripts that you reviewed?
Yes. Yeah. They are, yeah.
Okay, so you can set those aside. We may or may not come back to those.
Okay.
So you're roommates with, I'm going to refer to him by his last name because there's so many Nicks. So you're
Yeah.
roommates with Peering and Brew, right?
Yes.
On the evening, Thursday, October 8th, 2015, kind of led into the next morning on the 9th, were you there at the courtyard?
Yes, I was.
Okay. Were you participating in the party that was there that night?
I was a little bit, but I had work the next morning, so we went back to bed early.
When you say we, who are you referring to?
My girlfriend and I at the time, Emily Coltrup.
Okay. So the two of you went to bed early?
Yeah.
Do you recall when?
I don't recall the exact time, but I want to say around 10:30.
Okay. Now, before you and your girlfriend went to bed, when you went to bed, you stayed in the courtyard area?
Yeah, that's where that's where I lived at the time. So yeah, I went to bed in my room at the courtyard.
In your unit?
Yes.
Okay, and we'll put something up on the screen later where we can specify exactly where your unit was.
Okay.
Before going to bed, had you had anything to drink that night?
Yeah, I had a couple shots that night. I wasn't planning on drinking too heavy just because I had work so early in the morning. So
About how many people do you recall being at this party?
I want to say anywhere from 30 to 50 is my estimate.
Okay, so you don't need to name every single person, but do you have any recollection of who you saw there?
I mean, just basically my fraternity brothers that I lived with. Those were the main guys that we hung out with. So other than my brothers, I don't recall anyone else really.
Okay, so
Or in specific, I mean Colin, Nick,
when you
and
say Nick, you're referring to Nick Peering?
yes, sir.
So they were both there?
Yeah,
Do you know if Nick Prado was there?
I'm pretty sure. Yes,
Nick Acevedo?
yes,
Nick Pletke?
yes.
Did I get all the Nicks?
I think so.
Who else do you recall being there?
My girlfriend, I remember, obviously. Other than that, I really couldn't say, like, pinpoint any names.
Zach Volpo?
Yeah,
He was there?
he was there.
And do you recall drinking with Colin?
Yes, yeah, we were drinking in our apartment earlier that night, like basically like a pregame before anything had even really started. So,
Pre-game?
yeah.
It's been a while since I was in college. You refer,
We were kind of just drinking in our own unit, like just me, Nick, and Colin. I remember we were taking shots just before, they went out to party. I wasn't planning on staying late, so, we were drinking before the actual party is what I'm trying
drinking.
to say.
What about marijuana use? Did you see any of that?
No,
You see anyone taking any Xanax?
no.
But that was all in the unit before going out to the bigger party in the courtyard area?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. But you did go out into the courtyard as well?
Yes, I did.
Now, you said you had a couple shots with Colin in the unit?
Yes.
Did you see him drinking anything else?
Not to my recollection, no.
Would you say his drinking was more or less than usual?
No. I mean, it was a normal night. We weren't planning on getting too rowdy, like I said, so it wasn't out of the ordinary at all.
Okay, so he was drinking about as much as he usually would?
Exactly, yeah.
And at about 10 p.m., you leave the party and go up to your room.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you go straight to sleep?
Yeah, to my knowledge, yes.
Okay. Do you recall when you actually fell asleep?
I do not. I do not recall.
What happened next?
So basically, I don't really remember what happened next, but I remember waking up, hearing a lot of commotion, looking out my window of the courtyard, basically seeing a lot of commotion, and yeah, like I didn't really know what was going on, so.
Okay, so can you describe what you mean by commotion?
Well, it just seemed as if like there was a lot of people outside my unit in particular, and in the courtyard area there was like, it just seemed like people were kind of scrambling around is what it looked like to me.
Okay, if we could pull up 316. Does your room face the courtyard or the street?
So my room, if I may use this laser pointer, right there,
The one on the far end or the one
right there.
the far end?
Yes.
Okay.
So I was looking out that window.
All right, so the commotion that you heard was in the courtyard?
Yes.
And again, what did you mean by commotion?
Well, I just saw kind of people scrambling about is what,
Like running?
I mean, not really running, but I just like, I don't know, it just looked out of the ordinary a little bit.
Okay, so it wasn't just part of the regular party that you're used to seeing out there?
Yeah, exactly.
Something different,
Exactly.
something that concerned you.
A little bit, yeah.
Could you make out what was being said out there?
No, not at all. No.
But were people saying things?
I mean, I'm sure people were saying things, but I don't recall anything being said in particular.
You don't remember if you heard any yelling or screaming or anything?
I mean, yelling and screaming was like a typical kind of thing at the courtyard, so like I wasn't too sure. I couldn't grasp my head around what was going on. I didn't really know what to think.
And this was something that woke you up?
Yeah.
Do you recall what it was that actually woke you up?
I do not.
Okay. Well, whatever it was out of the ordinary, right?
Yes.
And when you looked out the window, whatever you saw was out of the ordinary, right?
To a certain extent, yes.
Concerned you.
A little bit.
So then what did you do?
So I basically ran downstairs in my unit, opened the back door, which you could see.
Can you point to it?
Yeah. Back door is right here. So I ran out that door, kind of opened it up to see what was going on, see if I could see anyone that I knew, which I couldn't. And so I basically just, I didn't know what was going on. I shut the door, went back upstairs, and that's it.
So you didn't go out into the courtyard or into that parking lot over there?
No.
You were just standing on those stairs there?
Yeah, basically I was just on my porch right there, like before the railing, and like trying to assess the situation.
So you open the door, you look out, you don't see anyone you recognize at this point?
Yeah, I do not.
Was there anyone out there?
There were people out there, yes, but I didn't really recognize anyone.
You have any idea how many people?
I don't want to put an exact number on it. I don't recall.
But a group of people you didn't recognize, right?
Correct.
And was any of those people doing causing you any concern?
Not really. I was just kind of like, I didn't really know what was going on, so I was kind of trying to grasp the situation, looking left, looking right. Didn't see anyone I knew, so basically from there I just went back upstairs to my girlfriend who was still asleep and just, stayed in the room and...
Did you go back asleep?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so you went in there, she's asleep,
Yeah.
and did you like lay on the bed? Did you sit somewhere? What did you do?
Yeah, I remember laying back down. I want to say like I looked up the window, like out the window a couple more times. And like that's about it. I don't really remember.
And when you say window, you're referring to this window you already pointed out?
Yes, sir.
You never looked over into the Franklin side?
No.
When you saw this group of people, did you see them going in any particular direction?
No, actually, I saw people going in a lot of different directions is what I saw.
Then what happened?
The next thing that happened, basically, the cops broke into to my room and took us out and separated me and my girlfriend. And from there, we went to the police station and sat there for hours on end until they let us leave.
Did you get interviewed by any law enforcement at the
Yes,
station?
yes.
Okay. It was a FBI agent, right?
Yeah, yes.
Did you tell the FBI agent that you went out into the courtyard after you heard some commotion?
I don't believe I was. I don't believe I did. No.
Told the FBI agent that you just stayed in the room the whole time, right?
I'm not sure
Okay.
what I said at that time.
Well, let's look at your transcript then. So, Exhibit 485 is both of your interviews with the FBI.
Okay.
Now, you reviewed this in preparing for today, right?
To a certain extent, yes.
Okay. Do you recall in either of these parts of these interviews with the FBI that night, do you recall ever telling them that you went outside after you heard the commotion?
No, I do not. But I was pretty shaken up because I didn't know what was going on. So,
So you decided to lie to the FBI?
No, I never lied to the FBI.
You told them that you stayed in the room the whole time, didn't you?
I stayed inside the whole time.
When they were asking you what happened, you said that you went to bed early with your girlfriend, right?
Correct.
And you told them you never left the room.
Unless he's going to treat the witnesses hostile.
The objection is sustained as to leading.
Permission to treat the witness as hostile.
You're going to have to commit a little more than that. before
Okay.
you can.
So let's back up. Did you tell the FBI that you left the party early and went to bed with your girlfriend?
Yes.
Okay. Did you tell the FBI that you ever heard any commotion?
I believe I did, yes.
Okay, can you point it out in the transcript?
I don't... I can't find it.
Because you didn't tell the FBI that you heard a commotion, did you?
I may or may not have. I do not recall.
Did you tell the FBI that you ever left your bedroom after you went up there with your girlfriend?
I do not recall.
And you reviewed these transcripts, right?
Yes.
So if there's anything in there about what you told the FBI in terms of leaving, you would know, right?
Yes.
Now, do you recall some months later giving an interview with the prosecution team?
I do.
Okay. And are those individuals that you spoke to here in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Do you know them by name?
Barker, and I'm not sure the other one's name.
Okay, so can you point out who it was that you met with around a year ago in April?
Yeah. Well, Sergeant Mike O'Hagan, I met with him, and then Eamon, and then, I'm sorry, I'm blanking on the name.
So all three of those guys.
Yes, sir.
And when you met with them, did you tell them that you had gone outside?
I believe I did.
Okay. And did you tell them that you only went out to the steps and then went right back in?
I'm not 100% sure, but to my knowledge of this day, yes, that's what I did.
So your recollection today is that's what you did?
Yes.
Okay. You reviewed that transcript as well, right?
Which transcript?
The transcript where you sat down with these three individuals and went over what happened that night.
Yeah.
Did you tell them that day that you went outside, not just onto the steps, but actually outside after you heard the commotion?
I think I did, yeah.
Did you also tell them that you heard gunshots?
Well, I realized after the fact that, yes, that is what woke me up.
Okay. So you were inside when you heard gunshots?
Yes, that is correct. I mean, to my knowledge, after the fact, knowing that they were gunshots, I wasn't sure at the time what it was that woke me up.
And you told them that you never went over to the Mountain View parking lot, right?
That's correct.
That you went out, ran around, ran in a loop, and then went back in up to your room?
I believe that's what I said, yes.
We already established this, right? You are a Delta Chi.
Yes, sir.
Ever wonder why the prosecution didn't call you in this case?
Objection relevant.
Overruled.
Speculation.
Sustained.
I'm not asking you to guess on why. Did you ever think about why?
No, I have no idea.
Never. You didn't worry about it.
Can you rephrase the question? I'm not sure what you're asking.
You didn't ever worry about why you weren't being called.
No.
Is it fair to say you like your other fraternity members, right?
Oh, yes. We're brothers.
Brothers, strong bond.
Strong bond.
You trust them implicitly.
Yes.
Would it surprise you to hear that many of them say you were out there before any gunshots?
Objection misstates the evidence.
Overruled.
Can you restate the question?
Would it surprise you to hear that many of your brothers said you were out there before any gunshots?
Yes, it does surprise me.
So when Acevedo told us that you ran by after the first round of shots and told him to call 911, is he lying?
Objection. Comments on credibility for witness. Improper.
Sustained.
Would you disagree with what he's saying?
Yes.
It's your testimony as you sit here today that you weren't out in the Mountain View parking lot before any of the gunshots.
That is correct.
And the many of your brothers that saw you out there are mistaken.
Objection misstates the evidence again.
Overruled.
Can you restate the question? I'm sorry.
The many of your brothers that saw you out there are mistaken.
Yes.
So you didn't see your brothers surrounding Stephen and his friends out in Franklin Street?
No, I did not.
You didn't see your brothers pushing his friends to the ground as they ran into the Mountain View parking lot?
No, I did not, sir.
You didn't see your brothers continue to chase them down that sidewalk in Mountain View?
No, I did not.
You didn't see anything else that happened after that?
No, I did not.
A moment.
Sure. Cross-exam.
Good afternoon, sir.
Afternoon.
When we met, it was, does it sound like April of 2016 when we met?
That sounds about right.
First time?
Yep.
Okay. We sat down in office and it was recorded, the conversation?
Yeah.
And we told you to just tell the truth, right?
Yes, sir.
Did you do your best to do that?
Yes, sir.
And you described that you never left the courtyard area, right?
Yes.
And it was only afterwards that you learned about what happened to Colin, Nick Peering, Nick Prado, and Kyle Zentek that you put two and two together about what happened, correct?
Yes, sir.
Have you done your best to tell the truth today?
Yes, sir.
Were you ever outside the courtyard
No.
that night?
No, sir.
Thank you. Nothing further.
Redirect. No further questions. Can this witness be excused? Can this witness be excused?
I don't know if there's jury questions.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do we have, I'm sorry, I apologize. Do any members of your jury have any questions for this witness? Doesn't appear that we do. All right, sir, thank you for your testimony. Thank you. Your next witness?
May counsel approach, Your Honor?
Yes. Members of the jury, the attorneys have offered this stipulation. It reads as follows: the parties in this matter hereby stipulate that samples of Mr. Jones' blood and urine were collected at approximately 9 a.m. on October 9th, 2015, and provided to the Arizona Department of Public Safety Crime Lab for testing and analysis. Mr. Jones' blood and urine tested negative for all tested substances, including cannabinoids, methamphetamine, MDMA, cocaine, opiates, barbiturates, benzodiazepines, methadone, carisoprodol, otherwise known as Soma, and zolpidem, also known as Ambien. A secondary screen was also negative. Mr. Jones' blood and urine tested negative for alcohol. Due to the time these samples were collected, this analysis is inconclusive with respect to the presence or absence of alcohol in Mr. Jones' system at the time he was taken into police custody. By agreement of the parties, Exhibit 488 is admitted. For the witnesses.
Your Honor, defense rests.
All right. Rebuttal.
You're on the state rest. Thank you.
Folks, this concludes all of the evidence and testimony in this case. So let me give you kind of a preview of where we're going to go. We're going to go ahead and break early. The attorneys and I have to get together and discuss final jury instructions. We will come back together at 9 a.m. on Tuesday morning for the reading of the final jury instructions and then closing arguments. After that, the case will be submitted to the 12 who will be selected to serve on this case. So I'm going to again remind you of the preliminary instruction that you were given. That is to keep an open mind. Do not form any final opinion until you are all gathered together to discuss all of the evidence, the opening statements and closing arguments in this case. Please remember the admonition. I hope you have a good weekend. We'll see you Tuesday morning at 9 a.m.